It's like ooh la la, ooh la la. It's not hard to say how I feel. It's like ooh la la, ooh la la. It's kinda easy now 'cause it's real. Hey. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na.
Hey, hi everybody. How are you? Happy New Year. It is good to be back with my fam here. Oh my gosh. How are you doing, bucket fillers? This is going to take me a bit to get back into it because, of course, I moved things around again. New Year, everything. Some little setting I have switched at some point about a month ago makes me have to remind to do something new each time. Got an itch. Oh, I pinched my skin. That's why I did. Got a bruise. Hang on. Forgot to turn on the light. Hang on. I'll be right back. Just let me turn this light on. Yikes. There we go. There we go. That will be better. Oh, phew. All right. Yeah. It is so good to be back and see with you guys and see everybody and have everybody be here. Yay. We've got Tamra and Linda and somebody else is here too. There's 3 people watching. So I don't know who the third one is. But somebody, whoever's lurking, hi, welcome. It says there's 3. Yes. Anyway, it is good to be back. I have great stories. It's good. It's just a new year. Things I changed the background on my scene here. Just trying some new things that you can do within Ecamm, which was kind of fun. But then it's supposed to be moving. Probably it's good it's not, because that's would probably make everybody a little bit ill if it was moving. It's supposed to be, maybe it is. Oh, I guess it is. It's doing its gradient thing. Maybe I just didn't notice it. Anyway, how are you? I hope everyone had a fine and happy new year. Ours was delightful. It was quite the event. Bryn, as I think I told everybody, Bryn and Danny gifted us with a trip to the Sugar Bowl. So in the opening video where you saw it say, "Go Dogs," that's my alma mater, the University of Washington, the Huskies, and call them the Dogs. And we won at the Sugar Bowl in the last, it was a second. They put 1 second on the clock. The other team had the ball, and our guy knocked it away in the end zone. It was that tight of game. I've never been to such an intense football game in my life. And the place erupted. It was crazy. In fact, so that means that the Huskies will be playing tomorrow for the national championship against Michigan. Yeah, well, Michigan's always been... Michigan is who we played when I went to the Rose Bowl for our honeymoon. We beat them then in 1979. Well, next time we went in 77, 78. In 81, when we went again, we lost to them. But yes, anyway, it's going to be a good game, and we're excited. So that's why I still had the Go Dogs up and everything. Yes. And so it looks like people are now live and back from the Sugar Bowl. It's Gretchen. Yes. And then I put some pictures of we went to the Cafe du Monde in City Park. We did not go to the one at Riverwalk, which is down by Jackson Square in the French Quarter, because the line was like a half a mile long. It was all tourists. And so, I listened to my Uber drivers and the locals who say no locals ever go to that one. Go to the one out in City Park. And we went to the one in City Park. And that's also where the New Orleans Museum of Art is, and where we spent the rest of that day, the day after the Sugar Bowl. So that was pretty fun. I got to spend basically the whole day in an art museum, and toward the end went to the gift shop and took pictures of all the books that they had, and just took a lot of inspiration. Saw a Renoir, saw a Degas, saw a Turner, saw O'Keeffe. Just the things that they had there. It was beautiful art, and it was just a fun day. And then in their artifacts in areas, they had things that went back to like 300 BC and 600 BC artifacts. It was just in different areas. Well, it was fascinating. So I hopped on my library and I checked out some of the books that they had down there. Rather than buy them, I decided I'd check them out, see what they were. And so I've got a stack here that I get to read over the next few days to you guys. And that'll be wonderful. Yay. So yeah, Tamara said something, and we're going to have show and tell. I'm looking to see if Linda, you didn't send anything, did you? I don't see anything from Linda. And then I'll have to, you'll see it when you see it. But so, yeah, what's everybody been up to? And how your New Year's was wonderful. And Tamara, I sent you an email back. Heart goes out to you. I'm with your sister. We're just really thinking of you. But like I said, she's got you guys there to watch out for her. And that is a huge blessing. So I'm sorry for the circumstances, but I'm so glad that she has you guys to watch out for her. And then, Linda, how was your New Year's? What did you do? Anything fun? Anything exciting? What's this? Atelier meeting? I've got a meeting. Hey, I've got that group that I did the drawing class with, that Chris Bronstad, I took from him, and he's a local artist, but he taught at the middle school and high school, I think, but he's also nationally known. He's sold across the country and all over, and he's just this beautiful portrait artist, works in charcoal mainly. And I took a portrait class from him, which, it's not my jam, but we did all kinds of, it was more of a drawing class. And, so we did all kinds of things. And so we've been meeting once a month afterwards with just to show what we're doing and all that kind of stuff. So that's going to happen on Tuesday. Tomorrow I'm going to my sister Carolyn's. We delayed we usually on New Year's we have it for the bowl games, we would get together. But so we're going to get together tomorrow for fish stew and watch the Huskies and the national championships. Carolyn and Sarah and myself. I don't think Patty's going to make it over. There's a fair amount of snow in the mountains, and that's not what she wants to do. Hi, Fatima. Oh, yay! Oh, Fatima, I am so sorry you're under the weather. That's just the pits. That's why Carolyn and Sarah canceled theirs on New Year's, because Sarah was kind of under the weather. And, well, because, you can't have a party without me there. Supposedly. Haha. Anyway, so that's what's up. Now, I'm going to assume that my sound is good for you guys. And There we go. And all that so that you can hear well. Fatima's here. And go blue. Ah, girl. You didn't see the opening. I could play it again just for you. I have a whole Go Dogs section of it. My purple and gold. I did it, It's kind of just one of those things. On this, we'll have to agree to disagree, my friend. But yeah, good luck to all. Anyway, the other thing in the opening, you saw that I did a fair amount of kind of Zydeco music, and probably will continue to do that through. Well, I've got this whole slew of Southern books, and just that I were inspired from down there when I was down there. Plus, it is the start of the revelry season. So Mardi Gras is Fat Tuesday. It's that Tuesday in March, is it? Or February? I can't remember. Yeah. And between the Epiphany and Fat Tuesday, which is the day before Ash Wednesday, they just start to party in New Orleans, and that it's kind of this whole build-up of revelry of things. And my friend Jeremy, that has the channel Rainy Cajun, he's been doing all these wonderful different things on stuff, and so it's kind of got me in the mood. So I added pictures and colors and stuff like that for Mardi Gras season, and it's just, I haven't decked out in beads, but I might. But you're an alum. Yes, I'm an alum too. Yeah. So anyway, so it's going to be good to have some of these fun books. But right now, you know what? We have time to get to... Yeah, it's show and tell time. Yay! And I'm going to start with Fatima's piece here. She sent these in, and she said, I did the black and white piece this morning, so it's still wet. It's on a test piece 3 inches square. King cake. Oh, yeah, that's what Jeremy was doing on his channel yesterday. He had a friend that he does this podcast with, and David showed the king cakes that he made, and they were talking about him. It was fun. King cake. A paint pour. Wow, yeah, it is really pretty. I love black and white. I love black and white, and I love the way you got that shading in it and how it blend. It's just really, it's a real gentle piece. I really, really like it. Good job, Tamara. That's beautiful. It's a swipe. Wow. With dog hair in it too. Is there a dog hair in it? I don't even, that's too funny. Hi, Parker. Hi. Nice to have you here. My buddy Parker Jennings, part of the Ecamm fam, is in the house. Yay, Parker. So, Parker, we're in the middle of our show and tell time, which is when on Sunday nights before I read, any of the bucket fillers who send in their artwork to my email, I put it in for show. So if you want to show any of your own artwork or anything you're doing or something that you're proud of like that, send it to me at my email at imagesbygretchen@icloud.com, and I will put it in the show. Yay! Next week. I'm not doing any more tonight. I haven't gotten any more in... Nope. I'm going to check my email. So that is Tamara's. Well done, Tamara. It's beautiful. Oh, so pretty. And then, let's see, where am I here? That's her work in progress. And then, oops. There we go. And her other piece is right here. The other piece is a fleecy cotton fabric, and I did it a few days ago. This is beautiful. This is in that, where the figured all the figure series. I like it. You do such a great job with these. And accessorize with cat hair. You guys are too funny. I know that feeling. Oh my gosh. Yeah, all those all over it. I think I took dog hair with me to and from New Orleans. Even though I took clean clothes, he still tends to get everywhere. But remind me to tell you about all. He had a great time. He stayed with his girlfriend Bailey. Whew, boy. Anyway, Tamara, this is really pretty. Again, the colors are that it's almost a purple, deep purple kind of in that gray and purple hue to the gray in that black and white. I like that. Is just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So, so mine here, you guys, I finished my 12 Days of Christmas, and they're in a playlist on my channel, all 12 of them. So you could go to the 12 Days of Christmas playlists if you wanted to see all the shorts that I made for sketching them. And but here is the final piece. It's a good size piece, but I thought I'd put a picture up so you could see it a little better. And so you know, the first day of Christmas, the partridge in a pear tree, the turtle dove, French hen, calling bird, and somebody told me that these are actually all, if I wanted to, I could have all done them in birds, because there's apparently a bird called a 5 golden ring bird, geese, swans, and then I don't know that, you know, maids of milking. I don't know what kind of bird that is, but I'm not so sure about this. But I had some fun doing these, and then the 11th day of Christmas was with Piper Piping, and my friend Alessandra that does the creative work hour, she plays the clarinet, and she takes it with her wherever she goes. She does in concerts and all kinds of stuff, and she's actually in London right now, in Leeds, meeting with a professor that she may study design with. And but so I did this one like that, kind of in honor of her. So the 10th day of Christmas, he's leaping over the river, and then the drummer's drumming on the 12th day of Christmas. So I liked my one of my favorite is my dancing, the 6 geese a laying, and he's kind of dancing, or she's dancing, and then the 3 French hens. That was a fun one. It was very, hi, Whimsical Thoughts. Whoa, welcome. Are you new to this? Have you been here before, Whimsical Thoughts? Yay. Yes, Whimsical Thought is here. Yay. I don't know. Welcome. Let's give a good welcome to Whimsical Thoughts for being here. Let's see. I'll do a triangle. Yay! Anyway, Gooseland, oh my gosh. Yes, they were so much fun to do. And so I have a couple others to show you that I'll see if they show up. And then next I did some variations on them. Hey, hi Vincent, nice. Wow, Vincent's here too. It's been a while. He's my buddy that does Vincent, yay. Vincent is stressed out, stress free. I was on his podcast, or on his show not too long ago, and he is part of the Ecam fam with Parker and myself too. So anyway, so this was that 12 Days of Christmas that I did. And a couple of them, it was really interesting because I meant to get them all. I had them scheduled to post, and then I uploaded them. I thought, and I was going to be able to do them from my phone because I did it on iMovie, but then it didn't transfer over. So, oh well, I just had to wait. And when I got back, I rapidly caught up. I missed a couple. I had them done, but they didn't get posted. But I got them all done. By the 12th day, I had them all done, and that was good. So that, and then let's see, close that one up, and then here's the other. This is a variation that I had for the 8 Maids of Milking. Um, but I couldn't shrink it down as much as I could the other ones. This was so I did this one, and I did most of them in a larger size to a little variation practice, but this one was kind of a fun thing to do with the cow in the background and the milk can and all stuff, that kind of stuff. So anyway, that's those. What's this one? Did I have another one there? Hang on. What's this? Oh, yeah, and I put up a photograph. So just before, the day before I left for New Orleans, I was driving home from Gig Harbor, and I have to cross the Purdy Spit. This is called this is called the Purdy Spit. This is a really small area. There's just this 2-lane road that's part of the part of the Key Peninsula Highway, or Highway 302. And on the left side there, you see part of Puget Sound. And in the distance, that's part of Gig Harbor and stuff like this. And then on the right side, there's actually, you can kind of see a little bit of, just past that pole, there's actually water there too. So this is the Purdy Spit, and there's the Burley Lagoon on one side and the Puget Sound on the other side, and you cross this everything. And I was coming home, and the sunset was glorious that night. So I'm driving, and I took a picture. Bad girl, but I did it. And so, yeah, there. That's what I did. That's why I had the third one, because I wanted to show you one of my photographs. I haven't done photographing for a while. So that's what that sunset that night was. Absolutely glorious. We get some beautiful sunsets up here at this time of year, because I'm facing almost directly like south. I'm southwest, because the sun is just coming around all the way, and it's barely making its way back up. Yeah, the sky is gorgeous. And today we were really windy and had white caps all over the place. And so yeah, thank you. Anyway, let's do. Woo-hoo. And all right, so oops. Check my sound. Yep, okay. Movie's muted. System audio muted. Okay, cool. Anyway, so we are ready for it. So on the trip to New Orleans, like I said, we went to the game, the Sugar Bowl, and that was amazing, absolutely amazing. It was a surprise from our daughter to get that trip, and it was just glorious. But we didn't get back from the game until 1:30 in the morning, and so we slept in the next day, and then got up, went to City Park, which is what our local Uber driver had said. If you want to go to Cafe du Monde, go to the City Park, because you're not going to run into tourists. That's where the locals will go. So I said, well, I want to go to the Museum of Art. And he says, well, that's where the Museum of Art is. So we went to had this wonderful beignets and the best coffee. Oh my gosh. And then went to the New Orleans Museum of Art, which was glorious. You guys, you know me, that's my idea of fun time, is to spend a day wandering a museum and seeing absolutely beautiful artwork from all over. I mean, like I said, everything from Picasso's to Renoir's to Degas. I saw Turner. I saw Jackson Pollock. I just and then the artifacts from the Mayan culture, from Japan, from Africa, from all over the place was just it was beautiful. So I headed down to the bookstore and the gift shop, and they had a whole bunch of books around, and I took pictures of ones. There is another museum I want to go back to down there that specializes in Southern cultural art. And I'm really looking forward to that because some of the books that I came back with ideas, the two I'm going to share tonight are celebrate that area, that the culture down there, and everything, and the people that came from from the South, and the contributions that they've made. So the first book I think I'm going to do, but it's no fair. um, and it's cold, wet. Oh, Tamara, it's cold and wet here in South. Well, you know, we'll wait a few months and we'll flip. And yeah, it's been a little bit cold and wet here, but so this book I'm going to read, let's see, get rid of that, and is called Ablaze with Color. And it is the story of Alma Thomas. And Alma Thomas was she's became a very well-known African-American artist and of great significance to the art community, not only the African American community, but to women's community and to art in general. So this book is called Ablaze with Color. It is written by Jean Walker Harvey. She's been a longtime art docent at the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art. Just like Alma Thomas, Jean believes that art brings us joy. Her other picture books include Maya Lin, Artist Architect of Light and Lines, and My Hands Sing the Blues, Romare Bearden's Childhood Journey. She studied literature and psychology at Stanford, and she lives in Northern California. And Love is Wise is a non-binary illustrator and designer from Washington, D.C. This is the illustrator, has now based in Los Angeles. They have collaborated and imagined with clients such as The New Yorker and The New York Times, HarperCollins, Google, Disney, and Hyperion, and Adobe, to name a few. And their work often speaks to themes of joy, mindfulness, and liberation. Now, the illustrations in this book, the artist used Photoshop to create digital illustrations for the book. So, this is called Ablaze with Color. And you know me, how I love, with my mom being the color specialist that she was, you've told you that before, that she had photographic color memory and could remember and always what the color was. And we all grew up with color being a really important part of our lives. So here we go. Ablaze with Color, a story of painter Alma Thomas. Her quote says, "Through color, I have sought to concentrate on beauty and happiness rather than on man's inhumanity to man." Quote from her from 1970. Alma always felt her best when she was outside, soaking up the sparkling colors of nature. In the garden, at her house on a hill, she skipped around circles of flowers. Pastel purple violets and crimson roses crowned by bright green banana leaves. She fell back on the grass beneath poplar trees and gazed at quivering yellow leaves that whistled in the wind. Alma waded in the blue hues of a brook and basked in the warm glow of sunsets. Alma was always on the go, never wanting to sit or cook or sew, like her three younger sisters. She wanted to make things that could hold. Alma scooped up moist red clay from the banks of a nearby stream. She shaped small bowls and cups to dry in the sizzling sun. Inside her house, Alma's world was also full of color and creativity. Her mother designed dazzling dresses, singing as she sewed. Her aunts painted petals and patterns, and Alma dipped her brush in tiny pots. Although Alma felt joy at home, she and her sisters were sad. They couldn't attend the school just 2 doors away, the white school, and they couldn't enter museums or the town library. So Alma's parents filled their home with books and created their own place of learning. They invited teachers into their living room to talk about people and places around the world, famous stories and ways of thinking. Even though Alma didn't understand all that was said by the grown-ups, she watched and listened. When Alma turned 15, she couldn't attend the local high school. Her family decided to move to the north, away from the injustices of the South. After the train crossed the state border, Alma's mother told her girls to take off their shoes and shake out that Georgia sand and never go back again. The family moved into a house in Washington, D.C., where Alma would live for most of her life. A house with a flower garden, a patch of nature that always made her happy. When Alma grew up, she studied art in college. She chose to share her love of art by teaching at the local school. But even in the nation's capital, schools were still segregated, and access to art was limited. Alma was determined to bring art to the young in her neighborhood, just as her parents had brought learning into her home when she was young. Alma invited children into her living room. She taught them to make wooden marionettes. They performed their own plays when they weren't allowed to see puppet shows downtown. In her free time, Alma painted, studied, and shared ideas with artist friends. Sometimes their work was exhibited together. Mainly, though, she devoted herself to helping children, leading field trips and art clubs, and setting up the city's first gallery in a school. Finally, when Alma was almost 70 years old, she stopped teaching and focused on her own art. Sitting in her favorite red chair, she stared at the patterns of light and color twinkling through the leaves of her holly tree, just as she had watched the fluttering leaves of the poplar trees when she was a young girl. Inspired by what she saw, Alma began painting in a new style: circles and stripes, dashes and dabs, ablaze with color, soft colors, bright colors. She created colors and patterns she remembered from her childhood days in the South, and from what she saw now at her favorite park nearby. She painted how she felt on the inside when she experienced nature outside: the wind, the sunshine, the flowers, how nature made her heart sing and dance even when life could be hard and unjust. Alma imagined soaring high in an airplane even though she had never been in one. Gardens and trees below became streaks and smudges. Amazed by space travel, new at the time, Alma envisioned traveling aboard rockets with astronauts. The starry sky and zooming spaceships glimmered as dashes and swatches. Galleries began showing Alma's new artwork, and then the unexpected happened. The Whitney, a famous art museum in New York City, featured Alma's paintings of Earth and space, the first solo show by a Black woman. Thrilled by the honor, Alma greeted crowds gathered at the museum, a place where everyone could visit. Later that year, the Corcoran Gallery of Art, a large museum in D.C., also showcased her paintings. The mayor proclaimed September 9th as Alma Thomas Day to celebrate Alma, her art, and all she had done for the city's youth. Sadly, Alma didn't live to see the momentous day when the first Black president and First Lady chose Alma's painting as the first artwork by a Black woman to be displayed in the White House, the home of the president's family, and a symbol of the American people. Alma's art shimmered above a long table in the old family dining room of the White House, where famous leaders, teachers, and artists gathered, just as people had gathered in Alma's childhood home, just as children had gathered in Alma's D.C. home. In Alma's piece, yellow dashes twirl, circles upon circles swirl, orange, red, purple, blue, a soft, quiet center, a green of nature, a painting of hope and joy, ablaze with glorious colors. Alma's colors. The author says, when I learned that Alma Woodsey Thomas' 1966 abstract painting titled Resurrection was chosen as the first artwork by a Black woman to be added to the White House permanent collection, I immediately knew I wanted to share Alma's exceptional life and art by writing a children's book about her. Former First Lady Michelle Obama explained that she and former President Barack Obama, the first Black U.S. president, chose contemporary art because they believed life in the White House could be leaning without losing any of its established history and tradition. I greatly admire Alma's dedication to both her careers as an arts educator for children and as an artist. Despite the challenges of discrimination, she approached her life with the conviction that we can't accept any barriers, any limitations of any kind on what we create or how we do it. Alma often explained that the use of color in my paintings is of paramount importance to me. She believed colors are the children of light, and light reveals the spirit and living souls of the world. When I see Alma's artwork, my spirits are lifted. I'm deeply grateful that I had the opportunity to write about her inspiring life and paintings ablaze with joyous color. And the illustrator says, Alma's harmonious work expresses the way we imagine beauty and joy through vibrancy. Like her, I believe that through color we discover our own inner truth, liberation, and happiness. And there is the picture of the White House Old Family Dining Room featuring Resurrection by Alma Thomas, acrylic and graphite on canvas. Wow. It has a great timeline of what she did. Yeah. Oh my gosh. That was amazing. That was a good one. I'm here like... Fatima's resting. I know. It is such a pretty book. Such a pretty book. And her work is just absolutely amazing. So that was the one that was one of the first ones I saw down there. And I thought, oh, these guys are going to love this one. And, yeah, beautiful. I mean, I love to see her explanations of color. Because you know me, I love my black and white, but I still love color work. For myself, what I like to do for my photographs, there are some colors, but you know, if I'm going to dive into what I really kind of settles me, if I want to get into my own zone, I go black and white. Just because it's very peaceful for me. That's just what it does for me. But some of the color work of people, like I saw Georgia O'Keeffe's My Backyard. Oh my gosh. I stood in front of it for a good 10 minutes at least. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful. The colors in it. And it was so fun to see these things up close. Now I'm going to take a completely different turn for the next story. The next story is by Phil Bildner, and it's illustrated by John Para. Let me tell you a little bit about them. Phil is the author of numerous children's picture books, including the Texas Bluebonnet Award-winning Shoeless Joe and Black Betsy, and then 21 Elephants, and The Hallelujah Fight, and The Soccer Piece. He is the co-creator of the New York Times bestselling middle grade chapter book Serial Sluggers. That's a good one. A former middle school teacher is in the New York City public schools. He spends much of his year visiting schools around the country, conducting writing workshops and talking process with students. He lives in Newburgh, New York, and that's the author of this book. Now, it's illustrated by John Para, and he is an award-winning illustrator, designer, teacher, and fine art painter. His books have received starred reviews and have appeared on the Texas 2x2 reading list. He's received the SCBWI Golden Kite Award for illustrators and the International Latino Book Award for Best Children's Book Interior Illustrations, and 2 Pure Belle Prey Awards for Gracias Thanks and Green is a Chili Pepper. Oh, Pat Mora wrote Gracias Thanks, and Roseanne Greenfield Thong wrote Green is a Chili Pepper. Anyway, this book is based on a real person, but it's taken to that point of where someone takes on the stories take on a folktale like aspect about the person, that the person had such an impact on the community that the stories about him went on and became more, and he's taken on this kind of folktale sort of thing. But he's based on a real person. And the book is called Marvelous Cornelius, Hurricane Katrina, and the Spirit of New Orleans. Yeah, you're going to like this one. Marvelous Cornelius. And let's see if I can tell what the illustrations are done in on this. Illustrations for this book were rendered in paint. In paint. Doesn't tell us what kind of paint, but just it's paint. Hurricane Katrina, Marvelous Cornelius, Hurricane Katrina, and the Spirit of New Orleans. See, now this, remember the little green truck in my opening video, the bzz, 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 back and forth? And the little, yep. And it starts with a quote from Martin Luther King Jr. Even if it's called your lot to be a street sweeper, go out and sweep streets like Michelangelo's painted pictures. Sweep streets like Handel and Beethoven composed music. Sweep streets like Shakespeare wrote poetry. Sweep streets so well that all the hosts of heaven and earth will have to pause and say, here lived a great street sweeper who swept his job well. In the quarter, there worked a man known in New Orleans as Marvelous Cornelius. Morning, he saluted the silver-haired man with the Times-Picayune tucked under his arm. Greetings, he waved to the couple with the baby on the balcony. Ma'am, he nodded to the woman shaking rugs out of her front window. And when his truck rounded the turn, my young'uns, he called to the kids crowding the corner. Marvelous Cornelius, they cheered. Marvelous Cornelius. And at each home, Cornelius sashayed to the curb and shimmied to the hopper, unloading the garbage. Not a single praline wrapper ever stayed on the streets. And those spotless streets, oh, how they sparkled. Woo, 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 he'd call to the driver when it was time to stop. Rat-a-tat, tat, rat-a-tat, tat. He strummed the side when it was time to move. Hooty-hoo, hooty-hoo. His favorite call of all, showtime. Cornelius front flipped to the curb and flung the bags over his head, behind his back, between his legs, and into the truck. He lined bags along the curb and then launched them, bag after bag after bag after bag. They landed in a perfect pyramid inside the hopper's metal mouth. Bang! He clapped the covers like cymbals and twirled the tins like tops, whizzing and spinning back and forth across the street. And just like those twisting tops, Cornelius danced too, tangoing up Toulouse, sambaing down St. Pierre, rambling on Rolle, cha-chinging down Chartres, and everyone danced along. The old ladies whistled and whirled, the old men hooted and hollered, the barbers, bead twirlers, and beignet bakers bounded behind the one-man parade. But then, one day, the storm came, and the great city filled with water. People and pets, parks and playgrounds washed away. Schools and shops, streets and streetcars washed away. For far too long, water, water everywhere. A gumbo of mush and mud. When those waters fell away, finally, Cornelius looked out at the mountains of ruins, some as high as the steeple atop St. Louis Cathedral. It would take thousands of me to clean this, he wept. Millions. Cornelius rose. He dried his eyes, for his spirit and will were waterproof. And just like he did every morning, he emptied the garbage into his hopper. And the kids who crowded this corner, they pitched in too. So did the silver-haired man and the couple from the balcony and the women with the rugs and the old ladies and the old men and the barbers and the bead twirlers and the beignet bakers. Others, too, from Brooklyn and Boise, Baltimore and Bakersfield, Syracuse, Seattle, Santa Fe, San Antonio. They streamed to the Crescent City. Thousands, millions, a flood of humanity. Hooty-hoo! Marvelous Cornelia cheered. Hooty-hoo! As the great city rose again, Marvelous Cornelius, he passed on. But as for his spirit, that's part of New Orleans. New Orleans forever after. Says the author, and that is true. People on the balconies, I have never been in a city that was more welcoming and friendlier than New Orleans. I tell you, it was something to behold. It says, the author's note, in the years following Hurricane Katrina, I visited New Orleans many times to help in the cleanup and recovery. Often I chaperoned groups of teen volunteers. When I did, those trips always evolved into incredibly uplifting and life-affirming experiences. They always became about the people. One person I met was Katie Ruckdahl, a reporter for the Times-Picayune. While Katrina was lashing the Gulf Coast in August of 2005, Katie was given birth to her son, Hector, at the Toreo Infirmary in New Orleans' Garden District. After meeting Katie, I read about some of her archived articles, including one titled Talking Trash. It was a feature about Cornelius Washington, a sanitation worker in the French Quarter who sang, danced, and performed tricks, a wizard of trash cans. I had to learn about him. Sadly, Cornelius passed away not long after Hurricane Katrina, but with Katie's help, I located his mother, Mrs. Mary Wiley. Ms. Mary still lives in the tiny town of Waterproof, Louisiana, where she raised Cornelius. Ms. Mary and I spoke on the phone several times. She sent me a letter, too, a handwritten letter filled with the memories of Cornelius. Whenever I read it, it was as if the Cornelius I'd seen in video clips, the bald-headed man with the big hoop earrings and the New Orleans drawl, was reading to me. Cornelius's story has the flavor of folk tales and folk heroes like John Henry, and by incorporating repetition, alliteration, and exaggeration, I have tried to honor those qualities in the telling. Still, it must be said that while Cornelius was certainly a showman, he may not have twirled lids like tops or clapped them like cymbals. He had signals and calls, but they weren't the exact ones described here. And the garbage bags he threw into the hopper probably didn't land in a perfect pyramid. Nor did the destruction following Katrina rise as high as the steeple atop St. Louis Cathedral. And though he was celebrated and beloved in his neighborhood, he was not called Marvelous Cornelius. But he deserves to be. On so many levels, Cornelius symbolizes what the city of New Orleans is all about. The energy, the spirit, the magic, the people. That's what brought all those volunteers to the Crescent City, and inside each one was a little bit of Marvelous Cornelius. I love that. It's one of those things that we met a couple in the cafe at the New Orleans Museum of Art, and they were a couple from Boston. And they had come down originally, the gentleman had come down originally to help out after Katrina and loved the city so much that he ended up coming back and finding a piece of land, and they built a home on it. So they still have their place in Boston. They come down to New Orleans for the winter, back and forth, back and forth. You know, it's kind of like snowbirds up here. People in the Northwest will go after they retire. They'll retire snowbirds part of the year into the winter, spend the winter months in Phoenix or in Arizona. These folks head down to New Orleans. Well, they loved it so much they had friends come down, and the friends bought some land, bought a house. Then some other friends came down. They bought some, and ended up. They've got a whole neighborhood now of people that were from Boston now have places in New Orleans. And I tell you, I'm already planning another trip down there. I don't know when it'll be, but I did not get enough of, I barely scratched the surface of the French Quarter. I didn't take my big camera, and it's a city that deserves a lot more of the photographs than I did. But just to explore, and I tell you, there's something about the genuine politeness of the people that no matter what Miss Gretchen, Mr. Bob, and when we went to restaurants and just everybody was, and the Uber drivers were just super fun, and the people were super fun at the restaurants, and every place we went, it was just really, really, really nice to see a city that's so open and friendly. It was just a great place to visit. So that's my bit. Let's see. I know one of the things I was going to tell you guys. The St. Louis Cathedral. Okay, he talks about coming up the high of the St. Louis Cathedral. That's no, that didn't happen. But Bob knew it well. He knows the city really well because his great aunt was a tour guide in the French Quarter, and she lived on the St. John Bayou. She was quite well off and stuff, and had as a young girl had sung on the steps of the St. Louis Cathedral. But what I loved about the St. Louis Cathedral, it's right next to there's Jackson Square, which is in the center of the French Quarter, and it's right on the edge. And right across the street from where the park part of Jackson Square is. But you would think you'd come out of this fancy, beautiful cathedral and it might be all pristine and everything. But no, not more than probably 10 feet from stepping off the step of the cathedral. There is a line of fortune tellers and tarot card readers and voodoo queens and crystal ball readers, and they're all lined up. There must have been 20 of them, all with their tables and all, at least 25 of them, all lined up there, all right in front of the church. Nobody even bats an eye. It's just, everybody's so accepted. It was just, I loved it. I loved it. It was just too much fun. Anyway, Queensland, I've never been there. Yeah, I had never been to New Orleans either, and I will go back. I will definitely go back. Oh, I'm glad you liked it, Tamara. Yay. Buckets overflowing. Yes. God, bucket fillers. You guys are my BFBs, my bucket filling brigade. That's for sure. Oh, yes. I was going live tonight. It was last Thursday I didn't go live. Oh, Larry, I'm sorry. Sorry. Yeah, gotta work. See you again next week. Thanks, Whimsical, for being here. Hi, Linda. Hi, Larry. Yay. So, everybody, I will be back on Thursday. Back to the routine here. I've got, like I said, a stack of books that I got inspired from, and I found at that museum's bookstore down there, and I checked them out of the library. One is about a cloth artist, and one is about a writer and her life growing up. And then a couple other just for fun. Oh, and another artist. So I got some really good ones. You're going to like them. You're going to like them. So, all right, everybody. It's good to be back. The drum is your bucket. Oh my gosh, Whimsical. It's 11:30 a.m. in the Philippines. That's right. Oh, that's where you are. That's right. That's where I've seen you, Whimsical Thoughts. You were on Lala's show. That's right. Okay, you guys. It has been a delight to be back in the saddle here, get things going. The tech worked. I got things set. We didn't go mute on any time. And oh my gosh. So dig up your stuff that you're working on. We'll show it next Sunday on any of your artwork. And again, it's good to be back. Happy New Year to all of you. Tamara, we're thinking good thoughts for you and your family and your sister. Fatima, get well. And I'm just going to have to close with Go Dogs because, I know, Travel Dreamer. I know, Fatima, we're going to go at this, but I get to say that. Anyway, you guys take it easy, and I will see you Thursday. And until next time, everybody, keep looking for the beauty hidden in plain sight. It's all around you. But the first place you'll find it, go look in the mirror. It's there. See you next time.
In the heat of the night, we could get lost in all the lights and sounds. Feeling alright, we won't go home, we will just We could be shameless.